Hey everyone, welcome. My name's Ryan. Today we're going to be reviewing the 2020 Lexus RX 300F Sport. So that's the car I'm sitting in now. I'm going to be giving you a full rundown of all the things I like, dislike about it. I'll be doing a drive review, back seat review, showing you the space. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy the video. Fortunately enough for me, I've been able to drive this car for over a month now. So I've got a very good idea of the car. So it's not just going to be one of those silly hour or 2 hour reviews where I'm in the car for a short time. I've actually really been able to experience the car properly. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and now let's get on to the montage of the car. Here we are in the cabin of the 2020 Lexus RX 300F Sport. Just to give you a quick run through of the car, basically the screen this year has been moved forward. So it's now a touch screen, which gives you another option as opposed to just using the touchpad here. Personally, I mean, to be honest, I think they're trying to cater for everyone, because for a lot of people, the touchscreen is easy to use. The only downside to it is it's a little bit far away to reach, especially for me being taller. I have the seat quite far back. So for me, if I want to touch something, I have to actually lean away from the seat a little bit, which can be a little bit uncomfortable, especially while you're driving. So personally, I've been using the mouse pad still, but I've been using the voice command a lot. So just to give you an idea of how it operates, basically you push the little button on the steering wheel here, and for instance, if I want to tune my radio, all I basically do is push this, tune to 90.9 FM.
Tuning to 90.9 FM.
And there we go, so radio's tuned. If you want to enter an address, you do the same, say the address. The voice system is great on the car. I mean, it works really well. I haven't had any real issues with it. I've probably set an address once or twice before trying to get it right, but overall it's really good. The lights inside the cabin are touch, so you basically just touch to turn on and off, which is really neat. And they're all LED lights as well. You've got a sunglass holder here. Your center mirror, it's actually a really nice display. It's almost frameless. It just looks really nice, and it's auto dimming as well as your side mirrors. They're both auto dimming as well, which in a lot of the German cars, that's actually an option, whereas for Lexus, that's a standard feature throughout the RX range, which is pretty cool. The stereo on this one is the Mark Levinson stereo, so it's 15 speakers. The stereo is insane in this car. It's ridiculous. It's so crisp. The clarity you get with the sound is amazing. You know, I like a lot of different music, rock, hip hop, things like that, and it's just very broad. It works for a vast range of different music, and it's awesome. It's bassy, it's clear. You know, the depth involved in the sound is amazing. So if you do get the chance to test drive one, definitely, you know, crank up the sound and give it a listen to. It's pretty cool. Onto the steering wheel. Lexus has done a great job with the steering wheel. It's got the perforated leather where you grip with your 9 and 3 there, so it's nice and grippy. It's also tilt and telescopic, so you can adjust it up and down, in and out, and it does set to your memory setting, which is on the side of the seat here. So you've got 3 different positions, which will do your seat, your steering wheel, and your side mirrors as well, so you can set that all to the memory. And what's cool is it'll actually set up to your key as well. So if you save the memory to your key, and then say your partner, for instance, she has a different setting, or he has a different setting, basically you get in the car and it'll set the steering, seat and mirrors to your position based off the key itself. So it's pretty cool. I don't actually have it with me, but what Lexus have is they have 2 keys that come with the car, and they also have a credit card key, which is basically the size of your credit card. And what you can do is put it in your wallet, and you don't have to carry a key around at all, which is pretty cool. So you just have your wallet, and yeah, I think it's a really neat feature anyway. Obviously, like most modern cars, they're push button start. Awesome thing too is you've got USB ports everywhere in this new model, something the old model didn't have and lacked a little bit of. So you've got 2 USB ports here. You've also got 2 in the console here, and you've also got 2 at the back for the passengers. So you've got 6 USB ports within, you know, a meter's range, which is pretty cool. You do have a 12-volt socket in the boot as well, so if you want to plug in a fridge, something like that, you do have the option. But yeah, I mean, such a well laid out cockpit, I think. Now you do also have the heads-up display in the F Sport model, so basically it will read out your speed. It's also got a little compass, and you can change if you want a rev counter there, compass, a few different things there. Compass is nice. It'll tell you if you're in park or drive, and if you do happen to set up a destination in the navigation here, it will also come up on the heads-up display, so it'll tell you when to turn left and how far away it is until you got to turn left, all those different things. You've got the LFA inspired digital speedo here, which looks really cool as well. Yeah, the layout of it's really nice. You can use the control panel here to scroll through the different options. So you've got your fuel range, tire pressure sensor, you've got a boost gauge. This one's the turbo model, so a boost gauge. Another cool thing is you've even got a G-force indicator. Not that, I mean, to be honest, I've never even really looked at it much. I used it once to have a look and see, but when you go around a corner, it'll tell you how many G's you're pushing when you're braking, accelerating too. So it's kind of gimmicky, but it's cool as well. Yeah, a lot of different things you can display there. You've got your mode selector here, so you've got a number of modes. You've got a sport mode, economy mode, normal mode, and you've got a sports plus, which in sports plus it will stiffen the suspension as well. So it basically reduces the body roll in the car, and obviously will give you the maximum amount of power it can in that mode. So yeah, I mean, I've tried all the different modes. Personally, I just like it in normal because it's smooth, but the power's still there. So that's mainly what I think most people will be using it for and leaving it in. Your cruise control is adaptive radar cruise control. You have the lane trace assist that Lexus call it, and these have the Lexus Safety System Plus. So basically you've got a lot of different safety features in the car. So it's got rear collision brake assist, front collision brake assist, rear cross traffic alert, so it'll warn you if there's a car coming down the road. If you're backing out of a driveway, it'll warn you before the car actually gets to you. I find the rear brake assist a little bit annoying. It's actually happened to me a few times where I'm reversing out of a car park and it will sense something that actually isn't a car and it'll put the brakes on, and that honestly, it actually freaks you out when you're reversing. So I think it's something Lexus should probably look at and adjust. That's, yeah, one of my only gripes of the car, that pre-collision is just a bit too full on. You can turn it off though, so if you don't like it, you can turn that off. So yeah, I think they should adjust that though and make it a little less sensitive. But yeah, overall, really good cabin. Lexus have done great. So here we are in the back. Good amount of space, that's the first thing you notice. So I'm 6'4" myself. I've got a good amount of leg room between the front seat. That is exactly where I have the seat as well, so I haven't moved that at all. That's where my leg room is, so it's a good amount of space. I've got a bit of headroom still as well. I've still got about that much space between my head and the roof. If I was to move into the center of the seat, I am limited for space, so it's a bit more upright, don't have as much leg room. My legs actually now hitting the seat, so I am limited, but you can make it work if you need to. Onto the rest of the features, you have a center fold down armrest here. So that has 2 cup holders, a little compartment in here as well for storage. You've got, in the door pockets here, you've got drink compartments, you've got 2 USB ports, rear air conditioning vents for each side. It's not controlled in the back separately, so it's not a 3-zone system, it's only a dual zone system, so it's all controlled from the front. All you can do in the back is open and close the vent, so you are limited. You do have compartments under the seats here, or behind the seats. You've got built-in blinds here, So they go up and down. That's great for kids as well. So they lock into place. It's really good if you want to go for a snooze, and if you're, you know, a passenger, you can lean the seat back. It's nice and dark in here, which is great. So you do have that option, which have it more upright as well. So if you needed boot space, you can have it more upright. Also, you can have the front of the seat more forward, so the whole base will actually move, obviously giving you more boot space again. So there is quite a bit of adjustment in the back. But now we've said that, let's go on to the drive. I'm really impressed overall. Like, as I said earlier, it's such a good everyday car. Like, it's hard to describe until you really got in one and drove it yourself, but it's just so comfortable. That's the biggest thing. Like, the seats, these are the sporty seats on the F Sport, and they hug you quite well, but they're not too much. There's sort of still a good amount of space between my hips and the seat, so I'm still comfortable. All the seats are heated and cooled, which is nice. It's got this nice panoramic glass sunroof that I'm opening now, which is really cool as well. It's just that for me is like a no-brain option, especially here where I am on the Gold Coast in Australia. It's nice and sunny, and yeah, it's a great feature having that. You can open the front glass as well if you want to. Car has a 360 camera, so to show you all around the car when you're parking. That's a great feature as well. Once you get used to that, it's actually really hard to live without it. The car's stacked with features. I mean, it's basically got everything you can get on a car. The Sport Luxury model, which is the grade higher than this one, has electric folding rear seats, which is the main extra you're getting, but it is a little bit more expensive too. It has wood grain trim, but personally I actually really like this F Sport model. It's really sporty looking. It's got all alloy trims, yeah, sports seats, aluminium pedals as well, sports grille, so the grille is like a mesh honeycomb style grille. But yeah, I mean, what a great car. Again, onto the driving part of the car. It's, as I said, it's comfortable, but the big thing Lexus did with this new model is they basically tried to make it more of a sportier drive. So at turn-in, the car's more of a direct feel, more, you know, on towards the driver enthusiast as such. So that's definitely a big step in the right direction what Lexus has done. The older model I actually really like still. I did spend quite a while in one of those as well, but in this new model it's definitely just refined and they've just made it better. It's definitely more of a sports car feel. That's the thing you notice. Like, it turns in sharper. It just feels like you're driving a more aggressive car than you are. And the good thing is the suspension's still very smooth like the last one was. It's still comfortable and smooth, but it's sort of less wallowy, so it's not as boaty around the corners. It doesn't have as much body roll. It's definitely a sort of stiffer suspension, but you don't lack any of the comfort level. It's still smooth and quiet. So Lexus have really hit a home run with this car in terms of the drive and the features and everything. I mean, honestly, for me, I could go as far as saying for an everyday SUV under $100,000, which this car is, it's $95,000 drive away, give or take a few $100 here in Australia. So under $100,000, hand on heart, this is the best SUV I've driven, and I've driven a lot of new SUVs so far, you know, luxury SUVs, and this under $100,000, there's nothing that touches this car, in all honesty. The one thing that annoys me with the car is the 2-litre turbo engine that's in this one. This is the RX 300 model, so it has a 4-cylinder 2-litre turbo engine, and it does lack a little bit of performance for my liking. I think most people would be happy with the performance. For me, it lacks a little bit, and it has a little bit more turbo lag than I'd like, you know, where you hit the accelerator and it takes just that second to get going, and that for me is a little frustrating. But Lexus has other options to cater for everyone. So they have a 350, which is a 3.5-litre V6 engine, which has plenty of power. They've also got the hybrid, the 450H, and that's actually my pick if I was to pick one of the models, the hybrid overall, because it makes the most power and it's the best on fuel. I believe it's about 230 kilowatts, so it goes really well. This one we're in is 180 kilowatt. Being a 4-cylinder, it is a little bit better on fuel. The consumption that Lexus claims between around town and highway driving is around 8 litres. I'm getting about, I've been doing mainly around town, and I'm about close to 10 litres per 100. So I mean, it's never going to be realistic for everyone. Yeah, the hybrid on the other hand is 5.7 litres, so it's a very good gain on fuel, and that's around town. I mean, driving that one, I'm more around the 7 litre mark per 100, but that's still really good. And to be honest, I'm not exactly easy when I drive. You know, I like to enjoy the car, as you could say. So yeah, but overall, Lexus has done so well with this 2020 model Lexus RX 300. The whole RX model lineup, yeah, has been changed, and I think for the good overall. It's all refinements. It's more of a facelift than a model change, but they were good updates they've done, all from little things around the car have really been a step in the right direction. And for people that would be looking at getting a new SUV, no matter the price point, I would certainly look at this if you know you want to spend a little bit more and go to the luxury category. For me, this car it's awesome. It's awesome. As I've already said many times, it's a really good car. Yeah, it's super hard to beat, and I think that for any person that is looking to step into the luxury category, it's the pick of the bunch. Like for price point, like I said earlier, under $100,000 SUV, it's the best car I've driven for sure under that price point. So well done, Lexus. Yeah, what a car. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.